I'm Arik Levy. We are at Ton in the Czech Republic. Ton is one of the world's best manufacturers of bambwood furniture. I've designed a product collection called Split. What we did together, Ton and I, is not really just a product, it's an idea. It's starting with how to use what they do since many years and project it into the future. In many cases, I just invent a name which has had a metaphor and so on, but here in this case, I just really wanted to show that this specific area where the wood literally split into two parts. Another task was to create diversification of different ways of finishing the chairs. In different parts of the collection, we're using different type of wood, but what we wanted to do is to take another step and say, let's do gradients. This is something I used to do on my surfboards, on my skateboard decks that I still do and I still produce. And I said, that will be great. I knew from that moment I became the nightmare of the guy who was doing it in the factory, because he's used to do something complete and homogeneous and a total skin that looks great, and he's doing it very well. Suddenly this Lulu comes and say, hey, just do a gradient. The relationship with Ton brought me to use bamboo for the first time. The tools and the equipment they use is archaic and futuristic at the same time. There's a technique and there is precision at every movement. Even if when you look at it, you say, oh, it's the way they do it 300 years. But at every fraction of a second, it's like a choreography. I work with contemporary dance since many years, and this is definitely choreographed. It's the harmony between the two people that bend and lock the wood and bring it to its place, song to your eyes. And I wanted to learn this song. Design can improve people's life in many, many ways. The ultimate argument is beauty a function? The point for me is not physical. The point for me is more emotional or something related to the experience. So it's part of what I call the emotional ergonomics, how your body, mind and spirit interact with that product. The design concept and the inspiration comes from the movement of water, but not looking at it, being it. Since I'm a surfer, that's what I do. I sit in the water and I become part of the ocean. The upper rim of the form reads the light in a very special way. There's absolutely no symmetry, so it's not getting boring. And the light is just running around it all the time, and it's just having this great movement. Two new projects. One is mobile, which is outdoor, and one is tuile de cristal. The crystal tile is an inspiration from a roof tile. It's what I call a charpenterie de luxe. It is basically hanged on a structure. That means that the fractal, this is a fractal, one element, can be used in the hand of the architect and the interior designer as they like. They can create a wall, they can create any size of a light or a lustre, they can create any architectural detail, and also brings a new way of interacting between Baccarat, myself, and the interior architect. I think it's really interesting these days to not create a monologue and have people that can share the essential of the creative ideas and apply them in a different way, like everybody would use the same pen but draw in it in a different way. I'm using very classic shapes in this case because I think that is a world-known icon. Everybody understands that as a light chant. So we understand immediately what it does. We see the richness and the value that light gives to crystal and crystal gives to light. During the day, in every living environment, the light comes from the outside. So this lampshade will be lit from its exterior, from the windows, from the light that comes through the windows and so on. It has a very big volume in the center that the light comes in and gets captured and reflects in itself and create a sort of an existing light without any energy. When you come home in the evening, you would lit it, and then the shadows will change completely all over the place, and they will come from the center. We have 6 to 8 light sources that distribute the lights in a very equal fashion and gives a very, say, comfortable light quality. We can dim it. This could be like a constellation, or it could be like the whole sun. Mobile is hanging outside. What I wanted to bring is to bring to crystal, which has a mass, it has a weight, it has its historical weight, it has a visual weight, it has a physical weight, to bring it lightlessness, to have something which is floating, which gives the impression that it's moving. Of course, it is not freely moving. We can move it and give it a position. And that's also to avoid cases like if you are in indoors and you have air condition, you don't want the light to do this all the time because you're going to feel you are in a boat and it's a little bit difficult. The mobile is hanging and it gives the possibility to, in a way, not get bored from your own object. You can articulate it daily or every week or every month or however you like, and create a new energy, a new contact between the architecture and the fixture and the people. The evolution of collaboration is something that we call history, because you look back and say, oh, we are working now for over 10 years. Oh, at the beginning, it's a bit like a love affair. At the beginning, you kiss more than you talk, somehow. So there's a physical exchange. They understand me, I understand them. But then we start talking, and you want to elaborate the ideas, and you get to know each other. A split collection that I did with Ton is a new approach to what wood can do. So the idea was not only to create another form, but take the wood into a new ride in nature, in its own nature, and make it bend in the different places. But my job was not only to create the new chair, but also to make Ton do something they've never done before, and that is what we did. Splitting the wood and curving it in two different directions, it's very, very complex. You have to educate the wood, you have to educate the company by itself, you have to find the right choreography and processes to do it, and what the result is something which is fascinating, simply looking, beautifully crafted and handmade. We are very pleased with the result. It's stable, and the wood is now doing something that he has never done before, so it's new. Not a crafted chair. It's how we take artisanal know-how and put it in the hand of the industry. How do we make the person, the craftsman in the past, they were the alchemists. They did everything scientifically without knowing about science or without going into the science university. So it's really great to see somebody who looks at wood and knows exactly what to do with it. The person is doing this chair, is not doing that chair, because it has a way to do it. And that way is very specific. To do the gradient idea, that was a second layer of complexity, because I asked somebody or an industry that paints plain color to do a gradient, which means that every chair is unique. The consequence of this, if two people buy the same chair, and I go to visit a friend that has the same chair, and I say, oh, I bought the same chair, but my second reaction will be, hold on, mine has a little bit more blue or a little bit more green. This is why it's different. That's what I love about it. So now it's my chair, and that's what I want. I want people to associate and appropriate the chair, the product, as part of what they love and part of what they want to live with. Form first has to serve the body, which is a really difficult task because we are all different. So the form is given by the necessity of what things we need to do to be comfortable and to be harmonious and beautiful. So I'm just making a toolbox for somebody else to do what he thinks is best. I'm originally from Israel, but I live and work in Paris since 22 years now. I came for 2 years 22 years ago, and it's a great place to be, and it's a great location to get started from. So you being here, it's connecting. It's not geographical what we do. What design does and what art does and what glass does is universal. It's cosmic, and that's the most important part of it. So what we did today is 2 experiments. One was fusioning 3 different glass blowers blowing at the same time to the same space and creating this fusion between one and the other, which also demands from them to have some kind of a choreography and an understanding of what we're going to do. So that's good because they don't just repeat their action, they discover something. That was the first one, and which we want to do more. And the second piece was taking a barbed wire that I prepared, a twisted barbed wire on itself, and rubbing it with glass. So taking something which is very edgy and very perceived aggressive and so on, to become soft and sort of wrapped around with this glass, colored, transparent glass. So when you touch it, you feel the softness and you don't get hurt, even though you can get hurt psychologically or imagine what the barbed wire would do. So glass which is soft, which is hard, getting soft because of its touch, and the barbed wire which is hard and aggressive becomes sort of protected. That's what we try to do, and they got very challenged, so I'm happy with it. When they don't necessarily succeed to have a final piece, it means we are doing something new. So that's the challenge. It's not where we are, it's what we do and what we are.
Artemide via Manzoni con il designer e artista Arik Levy. You work for Artemide and for Danese. Can you describe your project for Artemide and for Danese?
Well, for Artemide, Artemide is much more an industrialist in a way. So these products are a mix between handmade and machine-made and technology. So when I learned that Artemide they own a glass factory, a glass workshop in Venice, I thought that's great, a great opportunity to use all my knowledge in glass because I work with Baccarat and with Czech Republic and so on, many glass products, and to use all this knowledge and put it into Artemide and mix it with all my passion and experience in light and bridge these two. So that gave birth to Reverso, which is an intelligent product that also adapt to the user instead of the user adapting to the product. And for Danese, it was a few things. It was calling things that I did in the past in a way of a re-edition. And when I think about it, yes, it's 25 years ago, and that's a lot of time. And at the time it was innovative, and still today it's innovative, and it gives the tone and it paves the road for everything that comes after and for the future design industry and designers and so on. So re-edition, taking things from the past, improving them, putting them in a form of what a contemporary design can be, and seeing that it's still holding, meaning that these projects were timeless in a way. So this is one part. The other part was sort of a collaboration with Carlotta, talking and reflecting on what Danese is and where can we take it. And a few of my ideas were to the re-edition of the vases that did Enzo Mari and the candlesticks. Vases and candlesticks is something that can go everywhere. It's easy to carry. It's you come to Milan, you go to the Danese showroom, you like something, you buy, you carry. It's like a cash and carry idea. Other things we did is the sale of light, which I think it's a really nice contemporary idea to deal with shadow and light. So when you have a garden or you go on a picnic and so on, you can stretch it between the trees, connect it to your car battery, and have shadow and light diffusion for the sun during the day. Don't get burned because it's not good for anyone. And during the evening, have light, eat, be protected from the humidity and the dew and so on. So it's one product that does 5 or 6 different things. You can have a few of them, hang them in a combination. It's really something which is practical and interact with your environment. And when the winter comes, you'll fold it down, it has the bag, you put it in the closet or put it in the car and so on.